everybody. I'm Amber Kaiser, and I'm happy to share the Quartz Creek Ranch series with you. These four books, written by me and Kiersey Burkhart and published by Darby Creek, are all set on a horse ranch in Colorado, where troubled kids go for a summer full of adventure. What I'm going to do today is read to you from The Long Trail Home. Yet another Friday night when Rivka Simon should be having fun. Her friends were at the movies. She was at family dinner. "Come on, everyone," her mom called, urging them to stand around the table. Rivka's dad dimmed the lights. Her brothers stood at their places. Rivka trudged into the dining room after them, last, as usual. Her mom struck a match. Smoke and the smell of sulfur curled through the room. She held the flame to two white candles in the center of the table. The wicks caught and flared, illuminating the faces of Rivka's family. Her mother's voice rose as she began the Hebrew blessing for lighting candles on Shabbat evening, the beginning of the Jewish day of rest. Her dad joined in, and then her older brother Noah, even 9-year-old Eli. Rivka didn't sing. It was a protest. She wanted to be out with her friends. Her dad lifted the silver wine glass high above the table and began the second prayer. When they were done singing, he took a sip and passed it to her mom, who took a sip too. Eli drank and gave the glass to Noah, who drank and held it out to Rivka. When she didn't reach for it, he said, "What do you have against grape juice?" She grimaced. He was trying to be sweet, but that made her even more irritated. Rivka took the glass from him and took the smallest sip possible. Another protest. Her mother lifted the golden loaf of braided challah bread and held it over the center of the table so that they could each touch it. Rivka didn't want to, but her mom raised an eyebrow. Rivka reached out with one finger, frowning. "Would you like to say the blessing over the challah?" her mom asked. Rivka shook her head. Her mother held her gaze a moment before turning to Noah. He was 15, and his voice had just changed, and when he sang, he sounded almost like their dad. After the prayer, their mother tore off large pieces of the soft, still warm bread for each of them. Rivka wanted to refuse, but it was hard to turn down challah, and there wouldn't be any more for the next 6 weeks. She was leaving for Quartz Creek Ranch on Sunday morning. Challah was the absolute only thing about Shabbat she was going to miss. "So," said her mom, handing around a platter of salmon, "big weekend in the Simon household. How's the packing going?" Eli practically bounced out of his seat. "I'm ready. I'm totally ready to go. I can't wait. I want to be the first one there. Do you think I'll get a top bunk?" Their dad laughed. It was Eli's first year at B'nai B'rith summer camp, and he had been packed for a week. "How about you, Noah?" Her brother shrugged. "I'll be ready to go." Their dad grinned. "Exciting summer for you." Noah was going to be a junior counselor this year, just like their dad had been, just like their mom. "Be careful you don't end up married," her mom teased. It was an old joke, a stupid joke. Their parents had met as junior counselors at the very same summer camp and made out on the dock at night and even had their wedding there. Whatever. They were constantly telling those dumb old stories. "Rivka?" "What?" she said, mouth full of bread. Her mom pursed her lips. Again. Her mom had looked like a lemon sucker for weeks now, at least whenever she was dealing with Rivka. "After you have finished chewing," her mom said in a clipped tone, "you can tell me how your packing is coming along. You won't have much time tomorrow because of Natalie's bat mitzvah." Rivka swallowed. "I'm not going." The expression on her mother's face hardened. Her dad cleared his throat. He'd been doing a lot of that lately, too. "We discussed this, Rivka. Natalie has been studying hard. It's her big day." "Yeah, I'm sure it'll be great for her." Even Eli stopped eating. His eyes darted around the table, zooming in on the source of the trouble. "Stop looking at me," Rivka snapped. Eli winced and stared down at his plate. Her mother's voice dropped dangerously low. "You will leave him out of this." Rivka shrugged and tore off another piece of challah. "If you don't go to synagogue tomorrow morning," her dad said, "you can't go to the party in the evening." She glared at him across the table. Like I wanted to go anyway. Out of the corner of her eye, she could see Noah shaking his head in the most annoying adult way ever. Her mom was ready to go volcanic. Eli's eyes squinched up like he was going to cry. She couldn't stand to look at any of them for another second. "It's not that big a deal," she said. "Rivka," her mother warned. Rivka ignored her and pulled off another huge piece of challah. "This is about your commitment to our synagogue community," said her dad. Rivka jumped out of her chair so fast it almost fell over. The flame of the candles guttered and nearly went out. She felt hot, like the air in the room had thickened. It was smothering her. They were smothering her. "Your commitment," she yelled. "Yours, not mine." She was halfway to her room upstairs when she yelled back down, "I didn't ask to be Jewish."